Have you ever wondered if a single moment can change your entire life? Not just in a small way, but in a way that completely rewrites your future, your purpose, your everything? Well, today I'm going to tell you a story that proves it can. It's a story about a day that started like any other, but ended with a connection so profound it feels like it was written in the stars. It all began on a brisk Tuesday morning. The city was just waking up, a symphony of distant sirens, the rumble of the subway, and the smell of fresh coffee hanging in the air. For Liam, it was just another commute. He was a graphic designer, head usually buried in a sketchbook or lost in thought about color palettes and kerning. That day, he was running late. He skipped his usual coffee, grabbed his messenger bag, and rushed out the door. His mind already at his desk, wrestling with a difficult client logo. He darted across the street, not at the crosswalk, trying to catch the 8:15 bus. His eyes were fixed on the approaching vehicle, his legs pumping. He didn't see the cyclist, a blur of neon green and focused intensity, weaving through the morning traffic. He didn't hear the frantic ringing of the bike bell until it was too late. In that split second, time seemed to slow down. Liam knew he couldn't stop. The cyclist swerved, but their paths were destined to collide. But then a hand, a surprisingly strong hand, grabbed the back of his jacket and yanked him backward with incredible force. Liam stumbled, his feet tangling, and he landed hard on the pavement, his sketchbook scattering across the sidewalk. The cyclist shot past, shouting something that was lost in the screech of tires and the rush of adrenaline. Liam lay there for a moment, stunned, his heart hammering against his ribs. He wasn't hurt, just shaken. He looked up, ready to thank whoever had just saved him from a very nasty accident, and that's when he saw her. Her name was Clara. She was standing over him, her brow furrowed with concern. She had been on her way to the small bookstore she owned a few blocks away. She'd seen the whole thing unfold, the man with his head in the clouds, the fast-moving cyclist. Acting on pure instinct, she had dropped her tote bag and lunged, pulling him back from the brink. "Are you okay?" she asked, her voice calm and steady, despite the chaos of the moment. "You took quite a tumble." Liam just stared. It wasn't just that she was beautiful, though she was. It was the look in her eyes, a genuine, unfiltered kindness. He fumbled for words. I think so, you just saved my life." It sounded dramatic, but in that moment, it felt like the truest thing he had ever said. "Well, I wouldn't go that far," she said with a small smile, extending a hand to help him up. "But you definitely would have had a very bad day." As he took her hand, a strange jolt, like a tiny spark of static electricity, passed between them. He stood up, brushing the dust from his jeans, his face flushing with embarrassment. "I'm Liam," he said, finally finding his voice. "Clara," she replied, her smile widening. "Maybe you should stick to the crosswalks from now on, Liam." He couldn't help but laugh. "Yeah, lesson learned." They stood there for a moment, gathering his scattered drawings. Clara picked up a sketch of a whimsical flying whale. She looked at it, then at him, a flicker of admiration in her eyes. "You're really talented," she said. That small compliment meant more to him than any professional praise he'd ever received. He felt an undeniable pull, a need to know more about this woman who had literally pulled him back into her world. Can I buy you a coffee?" he asked, his voice suddenly shy. "As a thank you, it's the least I can do." Clara hesitated for a second, then nodded. "Okay, Liam, coffee sounds nice." And so they went for coffee. The bus was forgotten. The client logo was forgotten. For the next hour, they talked. It was easy, effortless. Liam told her about his art, his dreams of one day illustrating children's books. Clara told him about her love for literature, how she'd poured her life savings into opening the next chapter, her little bookstore sanctuary. They discovered a shared love for old movies, rainy days, and the specific kind of quiet joy you find in a library. It felt less like a first meeting and more like a reunion with a long-lost friend. When they finally parted ways, Liam walked away with her number, and a feeling he couldn't quite describe. It was more than just gratitude. It was hope. He texted her that same evening, and their conversation picked up right where it left off. A few days later, they went on their first official date. He took her to an indie movie, and afterward, they walked through a park, talking for hours under the stars. Liam found himself opening up to her in a way he never had with anyone else. He told her about his insecurities, his fears that his art wasn't good enough. Clara listened, truly listened, and offered not pity, but understanding and encouragement. She, in turn, shared her own vulnerabilities, fear of her small business failing, the loneliness that sometimes crept in after she locked the doors for the night. In each other, they found a safe harbor. Their relationship blossomed like a time-lapse video of a flower opening. Their dates were simple but perfect. He would visit her at the bookstore, sitting in a comfy armchair and sketching while she worked. The quiet rustle of pages, the only soundtrack. She would come to his apartment, and they would cook dinner together, laughing as they inevitably made a mess of the kitchen. One rainy Saturday, about 2 months after they met, Liam was at her bookstore. He was working on a new series of illustrations inspired by her. The central characters were a clumsy dreamer and a kind-hearted guardian who always seemed to be there to catch him. He hadn't shown them to her yet. He was nervous. His drawings felt personal, like a piece of his soul. Clara came over and sat on the arm of his chair, peering over his shoulder. "What's this?" she asked softly. He took a deep breath. It's our story," he admitted, his cheeks growing warm. He flipped through the pages for her, showing her the first panel, a chaotic street, a man rushing, and a hand reaching out. He showed her the coffee shop, the park, the bookstore. The final drawing was of the two of them, sitting side by side, reading a book together. With the flying whale from his original sketch soaring above them in a dreamy sky, Clara was silent for a long time, her eyes tracing the lines of his drawings. When she finally looked at him, her eyes were glistening with tears. "It's beautiful, Liam," she whispered. In that moment he knew. This was it. This was the love he had only ever read about in books or seen in movies. He leaned in and kissed her, a kiss that wasn't about passion or urgency, but about gratitude, certainty, and a deep, profound love. It was a kiss that said, "Thank you for saving me in more ways than one." From that day on, they were inseparable. They weren't just a couple, they were partners. He designed a new logo and beautiful promotional materials for her bookstore, which helped bring in a wave of new customers. Became his biggest cheerleader, convincing him to submit his illustrations to a publishing house. 6 months later, he got the call. A publisher wanted to turn his series, The Guardian and the Dreamer, into a children's book. His lifelong dream was coming true, and it was all because a woman he did unknow had the courage and kindness to pull him back from the edge of the sidewalk. Their story isn't a dramatic, sweeping epic. It's quiet, and it's gentle. It's a testament to the fact that sometimes the biggest adventures don't involve climbing mountains or exploring faraway lands. Sometimes the biggest adventure is finding that one person who sees you, who believes in you, and who reaches out a hand when you need it most. It all started with a near miss on a busy street, a moment of instinct, a shared coffee. A single moment that spun two separate lives into one beautiful, shared story. It just goes to show you, never know when a simple act of kindness or a clumsy misstep might lead you exactly where you were always meant to be. Thanks for watching and letting me share this story with you. If you believe in fated moments and everyday magic, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories that warm the heart. See you next time.